8. Coronation Street spoilers for next week, 10th to 14th February. Brace yourselves, Corrie fans. Next week is packed with jaw-dropping twists. The mystery arsonist is finally unmasked, David finds himself tempted by yet another risky job, and 2 brand new faces shake things up on the cobbles. But that's not all. Kevin's diagnosis could change everything, and the big question remains: will Rob betray Carla when she needs him the most? Don't miss out on all the drama. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on Coronation Street's biggest shockers. Now, let's dive into the spoilers. 1. The arsonist is revealed. Things are heating up on the cobbles, and next week is set to be an absolute roller coaster. The big question on everyone's mind: who really set number 8 on fire? Well, the answer is finally coming to light, and let's just say it's going to leave some jaws on the floor. Both David and Leanne have been in the hot seat for the crime, but new evidence is about to turn the whole investigation on its head. Kevin's been doing his own digging, and last week he noticed something dodgy at the garage. A jerry can had gone missing, and when he checked the CCTV, he spotted a hooded figure rummaging around. Now, this might not seem like a big deal at first, but for Kevin, it was a huge relief. It meant his wife wasn't involved. Given everything Abby's been through, especially with her PTSD, he was terrified that she might have had something to do with it. But this footage proved otherwise, much to his relief. Meanwhile, David's been looking more and more guilty by the day. We all know he's been desperate for cash after stealing from Harvey, and last week he made a rather unsettling joke to Shona and Max about burning the house down for insurance money. Shona was horrified and told him not to even joke about something like that. But David, being David, fired back with a response that made her uneasy. "Who said I was joking?" And now, with the house actually having gone up in flames, Shona can't help but wonder if there was more truth in his words than she originally thought. To make matters worse, when Sarah went snooping through David's phone, she found something that made her stomach drop. Search history about burning down houses. David, of course, insisted it was just a passing thought, but it wasn't exactly the best look for someone already under suspicion. Sarah wasted no time in telling Nick, and the two confronted David. Nick, not wanting to take any chances, did what he thought was best and turned his own brother into the police. Just like that, David found himself behind bars. But the drama didn't stop there. As if one major suspect wasn't enough, the police soon had another name to add to the list: Leanne. She was dragged in for questioning after it came to light that she had woken up from a drunken night out with a box of matches in her pocket. Now, that's not exactly solid proof, but given the circumstances, it's definitely not a great look for her either. Suddenly, David wasn't the only one in trouble. Things take another turn when Kevin decides to show the CCTV footage to Nick and Shona. As the clip plays, Shona's face says it all. She's spotted something that changes everything. But what exactly has she seen? And more importantly, does this mean David is finally in the clear? At the police station, Adam is doing his best to get David out. He pushes Kit to let him go, arguing that there's still no hard evidence tying him to the crime. And it seems like Adam might actually have a point, because before long, the focus shifts away from David and onto Leanne. Nick starts feeling guilty about accusing his brother, and even apologizes. But just as David starts to think he's off the hook, Leanne is left fighting for her innocence as Kit turns his attention to her instead. Later in the week, Craig accidentally lets slip some crucial info. Leanne hasn't been charged yet because some fresh evidence has come to light. Whatever this new discovery is, it's big enough to hold up the case while forensic testing is done. Leanne, however, remains adamant that she had nothing to do with the fire. But with all signs pointing in her direction, she's got an uphill battle ahead. Then comes the moment that changes everything. kit finally gets the forensic results back, and what they reveal is absolutely shocking. Just when it seemed like things were pointing at Leanne, the truth comes out, and it's not what anyone expected. So, who really started the fire? And what will the fallout be once the truth is revealed? One thing's for sure, Coronation Street is about to drop a massive bombshell, and it's going to leave fans reeling. Stay tuned, because next week is going to be huge. 2. Will David take on another dodgy job? David's been digging himself into a deeper hole, and it's not looking good. With the fire investigation still hanging over him, he's also been keeping another massive secret: his involvement in a robbery. Turns out he wasn't anywhere near number 8 when the fire started, because he was busy being a getaway driver for his old prison mate Andy. And now that decision is coming back to bite him. Andy hands him £2,000 as payment for his help, but let's be real, that's nowhere near enough to clear his debt with Harvey. David knows it, and the pressure is starting to mount. Andy, never one to waste time, has got another job lined up, and this one promises a much bigger payday. The kind of money that could wipe David's problems clean. The temptation is real, but so is the risk. With the police already sniffing around him for the fire, does he really want to take another gamble? As Andy lays out the details, David can't help but feel the weight of the decision. He needs the cash, but one wrong move could land him straight back inside. The tension starts creeping in on both sides. Andy needs someone he can trust, and David isn't exactly in the most reliable headspace. He's got too much to lose, and there's hesitation written all over his face. Andy can see it, and suddenly there's doubt about whether David's the right man for the job. Meanwhile, David's got his own concerns. Getting caught is one thing, but dragging his family into even more chaos is another. He's already let them down enough. Then, just when he thought his situation couldn't get any messier, Nick throws something unexpected into the mix. A proposition, one that could change everything. But with two completely different paths in front of him, David has to make a call. Does he take the risk with Andy for the money, or does he go with whatever Nick's got planned? One choice could get him out of trouble, the other could land him in even deeper. Either way, there's no easy way out of this one. 3. Will Rob let Carla down? Rob's decision to donate his kidney to Carla seemed almost too good to be true, and it turns out it just might be. While he's been playing the part of the concerned brother, there's clearly something more going on behind the scenes. His reaction last week said it all. The moment he found out he wouldn't be leaving prison for the initial tests, the mood shifted. And if that wasn't suspicious enough, he wasted no time calling someone from his hidden phone, telling them they needed a plan B. Whatever Rob's up to, it's got nothing to do with a selfless act of kindness. Next week, things start falling into place, and it all begins when Mandy, the prison officer, comes to collect Rob from his cell. But before they even leave, she makes sure to check if he still wants to go through with the donation. It's not just a casual question. There's something deeper going on here. And then, completely out of the blue, she kisses him. So much for keeping things professional. Clearly, there's more to their relationship than anyone realised, and whatever Rob's got planned, Mandy is fully on board. Before long, Carla gets a shocking update. Rob has been rushed to Weatherfield General after suffering an allergic reaction to antibiotics. The timing is just a little too convenient. Is this just bad luck, or is Rob playing the long game? Either way, Carla wastes no time heading over to see him. But when she arrives, she's met by Mandy, who tells her that the consultant wants a word. It all seems fairly routine, until Mandy is left alone with Rob. With no one watching, she quietly removes his handcuffs. If that's not a red flag, what is? It's becoming painfully obvious that this isn't just about a kidney transplant. Rob and Mandy are up to something, and Carla's completely in the dark. If she knew what was really going on, would she even accept the donation? Whatever Rob's ultimate plan is, it looks like it's already in motion, and he's playing everyone around him like a game of chess. If Mandy's helping him, does that mean there's an escape attempt coming? And if so, how far is she willing to go? But then, just when things seem to be going one way, Carla gets another surprise. Not only has Rob been confirmed as a match, but the operation is happening the very next day. If he had any thoughts of backing out, they're quickly running out of time. When Carla visits him back at the prison, she's left wondering how he'll take the news. He wanted a way out, and now he's got an even bigger decision to make. Will he actually go through with it, or was this whole thing just part of a bigger con? The next day arrives, and Carla's prepped and waiting for surgery. But then, another curveball. There's been a delay. No details, no real explanation, just a vague update that things aren't going ahead as planned. Considering everything leading up to this moment, there's no way this is just hospital admin slowing things down. If anything, it feels like Rob is pulling one last trick from up his sleeve. And if Rob's hesitating, there's another factor in the mix. Lisa. She's been keeping an eye on everything, and it's safe to say she's not someone you want to cross. If she gets wind that something's off, she won't let it slide. Could she be the one to put a stop to whatever Rob and Mandy are planning? Or will she have her own reasons for making sure the transplant goes ahead? At this point, the situation could go in any direction. Rob might actually go through with the donation and surprise everyone. Or he could use this as his big moment to pull off something even bigger. With Mandy involved, Lisa watching, and Carla none the wiser, there's way too many moving parts. One thing's for sure. Whatever happens next, it won't be straightforward. 4. Gemma makes a friend. Ardy's week takes an unexpected turn when he finds himself caught in a heated debate over the price of pull-up nappies with a new customer, Lou. She's not shy about speaking her mind, and Ardy, already having a tough day, gets an earful. Watching from the sidelines, Gemma finds the whole thing hilarious, partly because she recognises Lou from the school run at Bessie Street. It's not every day you meet someone over a price dispute, but Lou clearly isn't one to hold back. Later, Lou pops into the Rovers and, much to Gemma's delight, invites her for a drink. The two women hit it off immediately, bonding over their chaotic family lives and shared experiences as mums. Gemma, always up for making new friends, is thrilled to have someone new to chat with. What she doesn't realise, though, is that Lou's arrival in town is about to stir up far more drama than she bargained for. Meanwhile, Chesney tries to do something nice for Gemma, surprising her with a little Valentine's treat. But just when they should be enjoying a rare romantic moment, Chesney drops a bombshell. He's spotted that silver van again. The same van that's been making his life a misery ever since that parking row at Freshco's. The same van that got him in trouble with the police after he tried to get his own back. It's back, and that can only mean more trouble on the horizon. Gemma, however, is far too distracted by her excitement about Lou and her family moving into the neighbourhood. Turns out, Lou, her husband Mick, and their two daughters are moving just across the Ginnel from them on Maudsley Street. She can't wait to introduce Chesney properly and suggests they all go to the pub together to get to know each other better. She sees it as the start of a lovely new friendship, blissfully unaware of what's really going on. Because while Gemma is busy making plans, the truth is about to come out. Mick, Lou's husband, is the mystery driver of the silver van. Chesney's so-called sworn enemy has been under his nose this entire time, and he has no idea. It's a twist no one saw coming, and when the truth eventually drops, it's bound to cause absolute chaos. Chesney has been ranting about this driver for weeks, never expecting he'd soon be sharing drinks with him at the local pub. Actor Joe Layton, who plays Mick, admits that fans will be shocked when they realise who's been behind the wheel all along. He says it's been great fun keeping the mystery going and loves that the reveal will take everyone by surprise. The clues have been there, but no one quite put the pieces together. Mick, for his part, isn't the kind of man to let things slide easily, so this feud is far from over. Lou, played by Farrell Hegarty, is a force of nature in her own right. She's got a big personality, she's loud, and she's not afraid to shake things up. She's the type to cause chaos without even meaning to, but she also has a deep loyalty to her family. When it comes to Mick, they're a team, and she'll stand by him no matter what, even if that means backing him in his ridiculous vendetta against Chesney. That being said, Lou does know about Mick's issues with Chesney, and to some extent, she's fed up with it. She's not particularly impressed with her husband's behaviour, but at the same time, she's not about to turn against him. She genuinely wants to make friends in Weatherfield, and her bond with Gemma is completely genuine. But how long can that last when her husband is actively feuding with Chesney? Farrell reveals that Lou and Mick have a bit of a past. They're moving from a place where they weren't exactly popular, so Lou is desperate to start fresh. She wants to make a good impression, build friendships, and prove they're not trouble. But as much as she tries, she might not realise that the biggest problem isn't other people, it's her. Wherever she goes, drama seems to follow, whether she means it or not. With tensions bubbling under the surface, it's only a matter of time before things explode. Chesney and Mick can't avoid each other forever, especially now that their families are about to be so closely linked. And when the truth finally comes out, Gemma is going to be stuck right in the middle of it all. Will she stick by her new friend, or will she back Chesney in the inevitable showdown? 5. Mason is laid to rest. Mason's funeral is a quiet and sombre affair, with only a handful of mourners gathering to say their goodbyes. His brothers, Logan and Matty, are still behind bars, leaving just a few people from the street who had been part of his life in the months leading up to his tragic death. It's a strange mix of emotions: grief, guilt, and even a sense of unfinished business. Betsy stands alongside her mum Lisa, struggling to process it all, while Tim, Yasmin, and Dylan silently watch as Mason's coffin is placed into the hearse. Among those paying their respects are Maria and Liam, which might come as a surprise given their history with Mason. But after everything that happened, they'd found some closure on the day he died. It doesn't erase the past, but it's enough for them to stand there, acknowledging the loss without lingering resentment. Sometimes, even the most complicated relationships deserve a moment of reflection, and, for them, this is it. Meanwhile, Abby keeps her distance at first, watching the funeral unfold from afar. The memories of Mason's final moments still haunt her, stirring up emotions she hasn't quite dealt with. She's been battling PTSD ever since, but the hallucinations have made things even worse. As she takes a deep breath and finally approaches the gathering, there's a sense that this is a step she needs to take, not just for Mason, but for herself. Later, though, it all becomes too much. The weight of it, the constant visions of Mason and her late son, Seb, it's breaking her down bit by bit. She knows she can't carry on like this, and for the first time, she does something about it. She turns to Dr. Gaddis, finally opening up about the nightmares, the flashbacks, the sheer exhaustion of it all. It's not easy to admit when you need help, but this is a moment she's been building up to for a long time. The big question now is whether Abby can truly find the support she needs. She's taken the hardest step by reaching out, but recovery isn't instant. There's a long road ahead, and no quick fix for the kind of trauma she's carrying. The memories of Mason and Seb won't just disappear overnight, but maybe, just maybe, she can start finding ways to manage them, to stop them from taking over her life completely. For everyone involved, Mason's death has left a mark. The funeral might bring a sense of closure for some, but for others, it's just another reminder of how much damage has been done. The past can't be changed, And the pain doesn't just go away, but as the days go on, they'll all have to figure out how to move forward in their own way. 6. Kevin's diagnosis is confirmed. Kevin's been dreading this moment, and as he walks into the hospital, the weight of it all is written across his face. He's been trying to keep things together, not wanting to worry Abby any more than she already is. So instead of leaning on her, he's agreed to let Sally come along for support. It's an odd situation. Exes sitting in a waiting room together. But right now, Kevin's just grateful not to be facing it alone. The minutes feel like hours before he's finally called in, and deep down, he already knows what's coming. The consultant doesn't sugarcoat it. Kevin does have testicular cancer, and the best course of action is an orchidectomy to remove the affected testicle. The words hit like a freight train. He's always been the strong one, the one who gets on with things. But this, it's different. It's his health, his future. He barely hears what's being said after that, his mind clouded with fear and uncertainty. The walls start closing in, and before he knows it, he's out of the room, desperate for fresh air, desperate to escape the reality of what he's just been told. Back at home, things aren't much better. While Kevin's trying to process everything, Abby's dealing with her own struggles. Debbie arrives at number 13 just in time to hear the smoke alarm blaring, the kitchen full of smoke. Abby's been lost in another one of her flashbacks, completely unaware of the danger she's put herself in. It's clear she's not coping, and with Kevin now facing his own battle, the pressure is only building. Debbie knows something needs to change before things spiral even further out of control. Later in the week, Kevin finally sits down with Jack to break the news. It's not the kind of conversation any parent wants to have, and Kevin's heart aches knowing how much this will worry his son. But Jack's stronger than people give him credit for, and though he's shaken, he puts on a brave face for his dad. It's a bittersweet moment. Kevin wants to reassure Jack that everything will be fine, but deep down, he's not sure what the road ahead will look like. As if things weren't already tough enough, Abby's determined to do something special for Kevin. With Valentine's Day around the corner, she wants to cook him a proper meal, something to show him how much he means to her. But between her own struggles and the emotional weight of everything going on, it quickly becomes overwhelming. The last thing she wants is for Kevin to see her falling apart when he needs her the most. Luckily, Debbie's got a plan. She's always been one to step in when needed, and this time is no different. She's not about to let Abby crumble under the pressure, and she certainly won't let Kevin spend Valentine's Day without a proper meal. Whether it's a home-cooked dinner or a last-minute takeaway, one thing's for sure. This family might be going through hell, but they won't be facing it alone. 7. Will Bernie head to India with Dev? Dev's world takes a bit of a shake when he hears about his Aunt Geeta's fall. She's not just any relative, she's been a huge part of his life. And knowing she's struggling so far away in India hits him hard. He doesn't think twice about stepping up. Family comes first, and he's ready to do whatever it takes to support her. But it's not just a quick visit. He knows he'll need to be there for a while, and that means putting his life in Weatherfield on hold. As he breaks the news to Bernie, there's no easy way to ask her to pack up and leave with him. They've only just celebrated their engagement, and everything's been going so well. But Dev's not the kind of man to shy away from responsibility, and he makes it clear, he wants her by his side. It's a big decision though, and one Bernie doesn't take lightly. Uprooting herself, even temporarily, isn't something she ever expected, especially not when she's only just started settling into their new future together. Dev doesn't waste any time sorting out the practical side of things. The shop needs looking after, and there's no one he trusts more than Ardi to keep things running smoothly while he's away. Ardi's been stepping up more and more lately, and Dev's confident he can handle the responsibility. But while all the logistics are falling into place, one thing remains uncertain: Bernie's choice. Will she take the plunge and fly out with him, Or will she decide to stay behind and hold the fort in Weatherfield? Whatever she decides, it's clear this trip is going to shake things up. Dev's heading into an emotional whirlwind, balancing family duty with his own personal life, and the timing couldn't be more complicated. If Bernie does go with him, it could bring them even closer. But if she stays, will the distance start to create cracks in their relationship? 8. Leanne encourages Cassie. Cassie might put on a brave face, but deep down, she's still got feelings for Steve. No matter how much she tries to shake it off, it's clear she's not ready to move on just yet. Over at the Rovers on Valentine's Day, she confesses as much to Leanne, who, ever the straight talker, tells her to go for it. Life's too short for what-ifs, and if Cassie still wants Steve, why not take a chance? But it's easier said than done, especially with their history. She's been burned before, and the fear of rejection is real. As the night rolls on, reality starts to hit. Everywhere she looks, it's couples holding hands, sharing drinks, laughing like they don't have a care in the world. It's a brutal contrast to how she's feeling, and it only makes her heartache worse. Leanne's words are still ringing in her ears, but instead of plucking up the courage to make a move, she finds herself sinking deeper into her own thoughts. Valentine's Day was supposed to be about love and fresh starts, but for Cassie, it's just a reminder of what she's lost. And there you have it. Next week on Coronation Street is shaping up to be one heck of a ride. From the shocking arson reveal to the twists involving David, Carla, and Rob, there's no shortage of drama in Weatherfield. And with new characters like Lou and Mick shaking things up, you know things are about to get even crazier. But before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss a moment of the action. We'll be here breaking down all the Corrie drama, so stay tuned for more spoilers, news, and updates. What do you think will happen next week? Let us know in the comments. We love hearing your thoughts. And hey, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up to show your love. Until next time, stay tuned for more Coronation Street tea right here on episode Whisper.